Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah.
Warahmatullah.
Yes, yes. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillah, thank you very much. All right, let us all start today's session with the Ummul Quran Al-Fatiha. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin, wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Welcome everyone, distinguished guests and esteemed colleagues. Welcome to today's enlightening session with a topic on enhancing staff well-being for increased productivity. So we are honored, Alhamdulillah, to have with us today a renowned expert in the field, a distinguished professor, Prof. Emerita Dato' Asma Ismail. Before we begin, I have a pleasure to invite Prof. Mira Kartiwi, Director of Center for Professional Development, CPD, to give an introductory remark. Please welcome Prof. Mira.
Okay, all right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirrabbilalamin. Alhamdulillahillazi hadana lihada wa ma kunna linahtadiya laula an hadana Allah. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammad abduhu wa rasuluh. Alhamdulillah. First, I would like to thank Dato' Asma for being with us today. I know her schedule is very packed this month, this year, but she still make the time to be with us, and met her a few weeks ago, and I know she really make the time. So she has a lot of programs this year, this month especially, but for IUM, mashallah, she really make the time for all of us. So thank you again, Dato'. Really appreciate it. And I would like to thank all the participants, of course, for making the time as well. This is part of a very important journey in our career, because the moment that we keep learning means that we are making progress. And the two keywords that are very important that we're going to discuss today, which is the well-being and the productivity, the two keywords that I really hope it will not only give us the perspective on how to how to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves on the same time we are productive, but I'm very sure there will be a lot more things that Dato' Asma will share with us today, which will put a lot of things into more, I would say, a fresh look on how we plan next year and the year to come, inshallah. And I would like, of course, the last and but not least, I would like to thank the team, Dr. Madiha, Sister Hannah, and all the CPD team. We have been doing a lot of things this year, and I'm very sure there will be a lot more things that we will do next year. And barakallahu fikum wa ahlikum jami'an. I know when you are doing something good, in ahsantum li anfusikum, when we are doing something good for others, actually the benefits is for ourselves, and may Allah bless all of you for the hard work. And again, jazakumullah khair, everyone. May this session be a fruitful session, and may Allah give a lot of barakah with our session today. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Prof. Mira. Before we delve into the heart of today's sharing session, let me take a moment to introduce our esteemed speaker. Prof. Emerita Dato' Dr. Asma binti Ismail is the immediate past president of the Academy of Sciences Malaysia and National Science, Technology and Innovation Advisor. She is currently the Ibn Sina Chair for Medicine at IIUM and the Consultative and Anti-Corruption Panel for the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission. Prof. Emerita holds a BSc Biology from the University of Nevada, Reno, USA, MA Microbiology from Indiana University, USA, and a PhD Cellular and Molecular Biology from University of Nevada, Reno, USA. Besides being the first female Vice Chancellor of University Science Islam Malaysia, USIM, and University Science Malaysia, USM, Prof. Emerita Dato' Dr. Asma binti Ismail is also Malaysia's first female Director General of Higher Education, first female President of Academy of Sciences Malaysia, first female to be appointed as the chairperson of the Malaysian Qualifications Agency MQA, and the first woman to be the National Science Advisor to the country. In addition, she was elected to the Academy of Sciences Malaysia in 2003, the Academy of Sciences for the Developing World TWAS in 2010, the Islamic World Academy of Sciences in 2016, and was elected as an honorary member of the Iranian Academy of Medical Sciences in 2017, among others. Today, we are here to explore the crucial link between staff well-being and increased productivity as organizations strive for excellence in a rapidly evolving world. Recognizing and prioritizing the mental and physical health of their workforce has become paramount. Prof. Dato' Asma's insights into this intersection are not only timely, but also immensely valuable, inshallah. Before we begin, I would like to also remind our audience, if you have any questions, you can write it in the chat box, and inshallah, we will have the last 15 minutes of the session later for the Q&A session. So without further ado, let us all welcome Prof. Emerita Dato' Asma.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera. And a very good morning to all, especially Professor Mira, Professor Madiha, and the team from CPD for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts on the topic. There was a lot of topic that was given by Prof. Mira, but I've decided that at the end of the day, staff well-being, after being in IIUM, I think, how do you increase productivity, you know? I mean, I've been talking to you guys about research, about leadership, but I think today I'll be talking about staff well-being. Tapi in December, I will be talking to you about the generation gap, and that is a serious problem that is happening in all our workplace. So I hope you can join me in December nanti, organized by MSD to talk about the generation gap, and that is now happening in our workplace and how to handle, and especially those in leadership position. I think it's probably something for you to take note. Okay, can I be allowed to share my screen? Okay, thank you. Okay, can you see my slide? Nampak
Yes.
kan? Okay, thank you.
Yes.
All right. So the topic today is on enhancing staff well-being to enhance productivity. Okay, this is the scope that I'll be covering today, the state of the world today, leadership, uncertainty, and the changing trends of the workforce. And what are the, there are two things, the changing trend of the workforce, and the other one is the changing trends of the workplace. So, and then what is the difference between staff management and staff well-being, and why staff well-being is very important. And of course, the question, should staff well-being be part of the institution's responsibilities, or is the institution only worried about staff management? And how do then we evaluate the status of staff well-being in an organization? After all, IIUM is already 40 years old. And how do we go about taking care of staff well-being? Okay. The world order, let me begin by saying that the world order is changing because of the accelerating pace of change due to the digital age. And of course, I've been talking so much about the disruptive technologies that is here to stay, global economic crisis, human diseases like pandemics, global competition due to globalization. And of course, now with COP28, we are now also very much worried about planetary health. The Anthropocene era created by humankind that has now destroyed almost destroying the planet Earth. Yeah. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that we are now living in what is termed as post-normal times. This is a transformative force that is causing the world to be in a state of chaotic, full of uncertainties, and the only constant is change. And therefore, this has a great impact on higher education, on our livelihood, and of course, in our lives. And we have shifted now from VUCA, pre-COVID, to now BANI, the era of brittle, anxious, non-linear, incomprehensible, because there's so much data coming in from the sensors, the IoT and whatnot. There's a lot of data, especially with the disruptive technologies, with artificial intelligence, that some of them is now becoming incomprehensible. So in post-normal times, as I said, is a time of challenge. And the future is uncertain, is chaotic, is also another key word is complex. And there's actually no single trajectory towards the future. So uncertainty seems to be the only certainty. And therefore, when you face uncertainty, especially when you are already in the comfort zone, facing uncertainty can be very scary, and this can lead to anxiety and to stress. And we should try to handle uncertainty, however, positively, because uncertainty and change is going to be part of our life. And therefore, leadership and uncertainty must go hand in hand, because without times of uncertainty, there will be no need for leadership, right? So the role and purpose of the leader essentially is to carry the organization to success in the face of uncertainty, to succeed where others may falter. And during these times of uncertainty and change, leaders that succeed usually are leaders that embrace change and see change as an opportunity to learn and to evolve and actually create new visions and new strategies. So with the advent of the disruptive technology, we need leaders who can balance between technology usage as well as human needs in the organization. And this balancing, ladies and gentlemen, I think is absolutely necessary, because growing up, a lot of us are in different age group, and we are all growing up in a different era of technological advancement, and this will create generation gaps. So leaders of today need to understand that in one workplace, there's going to be a lot different generations, and different generations before everybody just follow the elders, but this is today. Okay, today, because of the technological advancement and the kind of era that we are living in, we are creating generation gap, and therefore it is necessary to understand and bridge the generation gap that arises for the betterment of the organization. Of course, you're going to ask me, okay, what kind of generation do we have in the world today? Well, we have the silent generation, and this is the more than 77 years. They're born between 1928 and 1945. Then there is my generation, which is the baby boomers. This is between 59 to 77, and they represent we represent a significant portion of the global population. Then there is the Gen X, and this is for any one of you who's listening between 43 to 58 years of age. This group witnessed the rise in technology and the advent of personal computers. Then we have the millennials, and these are between 27 to 42. So majority of the audience today probably is between 27 and 42. And these are the millennials. And basically this generation grew up during the digital revolution and the rapid expansion of the internet. And then there is the Generation Z. This is the young lecturers, the young academics, all right, that is now here in IIUM. And that's, if you are 26 years or younger. And the Gen Z, don't forget, it's not only about the lecturer, it's also about the support staff who is there in your department or in your kuliah. And Gen Z is the first generation to grow up entirely in the 21st century. And this is also the generation that faced COVID. And therefore, this generation is characterized by is very, very familiar with technology and digital communication. Now, Generation Alpha, this is under 12 years old, which is your children, basically. This is the newest generation, and they are the children of the millennials and the Gen Z. So it's relatively early to define their characteristic fully because they are still young. But whatever it is, you need to understand that the generation in order the various ways and behavior of the various generation, because this generation can be your colleagues, can be your friends, can be also your bosses. And it's therefore important especially for human resource, yang ni kalau MSD dengar, also important for human resource who is in charge of talent management. So out of the 5 distinct generation in the Malaysian workforce in 2023, only 4 are in the workplace. Workforce is orang, and then workplace tempat kerja. So we have the baby boomers, the Generation X, the millennials, and the Generation Z. And as I said, the ones that is not in the workforce now, Generation Alpha and Generation Beta. Generation Beta is not born yet. They will be born 2 years from now. So we don't know about them yet. But what I want you to see in terms of data is that more than 50% of the workforce are millennials and Gen Z. Okay, they are now going to be different because millennials are different. Gen Z is lagi different. And that's why I said you need to hear my talk on the generation gap, because today we are talking about staff well-being. So when you deal with this kind of generation, especially yang jadi dekan ni is Generation X, okay? So you need to understand also the generation millennials and the Generation Z need to understand the thinking and the behavior pattern of the dekan, which is Generation X. And the dekan also need to understand the millennials, and millennials treat differently, Gen Z treat differently. Okay, so how you treat them, I would tell you in December. So when majority of the workforce are changing, the rules and regulation of JPA never change. Okay, so this is where I think now the relevant ministries, agencies, and even the university, okay, university has been given autonomy. So what is the university doing about discussing this matter? Okay, because they need to take heed of the changing needs of the workforce, all right, because the workforce is majority is going to be millennials and Gen Z, but with the post-normal times and the kind of uncertainty and unknowns that we face, there's also the changing needs to be having and taking place in the workplace itself. Itu pun kena address juga, yeah. So we are talking about 2 things. One is the workforce, the human being, the staff, and then the other one is the location where the staff is at, which is the workplace, right? So now, how do you now face when faced with unknown challenges? What should be the change in the workplace? I'm talking about where you are, the kuliahs. Of course, this is going to be changing. They're going to be variation depending on where industry ke atau the organization you are, and of course, who's the number one in the organization. All these leadership styles is there, but end game is that if the leadership is not willing to change and to adapt, kita ada problem lah. So, okay, what should be is that if you are now in the leadership position, tak kira lah, kita semua kan khalifah, semuanya leaders in every aspect. Sama ada you are leader in your research cluster, you are leader in your program ke, a leader in your kuliah ke. So, first thing, what you need to now encourage. Number 1, problem solving and innovation. Encourage problem solving mindset. Yeah? When faced with unknown challenges, employees must be encouraged to think creatively and come up with innovative solution. Maknanya you kena dengar lah what they have to say. It's not a matter of okay, handle it and then you don't know nuts about it. So, but basically you kena dengar. So bila you kena dengar, then call for brainstorming sessions. I call it discussions, focus discussions, cross-functional collaboration, and if need be, you know, you ask help from professors from other university, macam mana mereka handle, and then you know you learn from that. The other one is adaptability and flexibility. So employees and organizations that are adaptable can navigate unknown challenges more effectively. But a very traditional organization, because this is like pushing a donkey up the mountain, they are very stuck in their ways. This is the only way, and this is my way or highway. So if that is the case, then memang susah lah to have staff well-being when the workforce is changing but the workplace remains traditional. So learning and development. So facing unknown challenges often require acquiring new skills and knowledge. So, and this is where human resource, MSD, CPD, whatever, need to invest in the employee training and development program, and this will include the workshops, the seminars, the online courses. Tapi janganlah teach benda yang sama, bahasa Kelantan tu benda yang tular, you know. You're teaching the same old, the traditional way, because the one who is in the planning is coming from the baby boomer or is coming from the Gen X, okay, tetapi tak realize bahawa the workforce is now millennials and Gen Z, and they're giving the same kind of training program. So this is what I'm trying to say. You gotta move with the times, people. So and change, as I said, needs to be there. So you need to equip now the staff with the necessary tools to tackle the changes. And satu lagi, communication and collaboration. Open communication, I think, is crucial when dealing with unknown challenges, and you need to be sharing information, updates, insights. All this can help create a collaborative environment where employees gonna feel comfortable expressing their concerns and ideas. Tak maulah bila employee pergi cakap, ini kita ada masalah, okay, get out of the room, you know, you don't want to hear. So you gotta be able to spend the time. That's why I said, siapa yang jadi leader now, you know, the listening is very important. And teamwork can often lead to a more comprehensive solution. Satu lagi, you kena belajar sekarang ni pasal risk management, right? So you're gonna be able to now tackle all sorts of crises, and risk management process need to be in place to identify, to assess and mitigate all these potential challenges. And this will involve a systematic approach to understanding what is going to be the nature of challenge, evaluating its potential impact, and then how do you implement now strategies to minimize the negative consequences. Next, we talk about leadership and decision making. All right. Well, effective leadership is essential in navigating unknown challenges. Of course, the leaders, when making unknown challenges, is going to be making some very difficult decisions, but it's very important that you communicate a clear vision. Berapa kali dah saya kata dalam leadership, you know, kuliah sometimes have no idea what's going on because the leader does not communicate the vision, where are we going. Clarity of vision, clarity of purpose is so very important, because this will inspire confidence among those who are within that kuliah. Yeah? So decisive leadership can help guide the organization through uncertainty. And then we talk about resilience and positive mindset. Maintaining a positive mindset and fostering resilience can contribute to overcome these unknown challenges, but instead of viewing challenges as obstacles, all right, and why don't you see them as opportunity? I mean, personally, people ask me, do you find a lot of obstacles? I say, I don't consider things as obstacles, I go around it. Because if you, everything you nampak, you consider sebagai obstacle, it will hamper your progress. It will make you demoralized. And every time you fail in something, you say, oh, this is a block. And then, you know, so don't do that. You know, just see how now you see this as a new opportunity for growth and improvement. So, okay, the question then is, who should initiate all these changes that I'm talking about? But before we go into that, okay, I think we need to, stand back a little bit and talk about what is the difference between staff management and staff well-being, okay? So both are workplace related, but focus on different aspects of the employee experience. When we talk about, MSD jaga staff management, okay? And this involves overall administration, coordination, supervision of the employees within the organization. Of course, when we talk about that, we talk about recruitment and hiring. Okay, how do we find the right people to bring into the organization? We talk about training and development, providing the necessary skills and knowledge for the various job roles. Performance evaluation bila untuk kenaikan pangkat, conflict resolution, addressing and resolving some of the issues among the team members, and assigning tasks as well to allocate responsibilities, siapa jadi dekan, siapa jadi program coordinator dan sebagainya. And of course, bila ada tindakan tertatib, then we talk about discipline and corrective action, which enforce the workforce policies and addressing misconduct. However, when we talk about staff well-being, this is referring now to the physical, mental, and emotional health satisfaction of the employee in the workplace. All right. We talk about physical health, ada hospital ataupun pusat sejahtera or some place that can provide now the safe and healthy work environment, promoting a work-life balance, and addressing the ergonomic concerns. Satu lagi is about mental health, because when I talk about Generation Z selalunya dia banyak mental health problems, ya. So supporting mental health well-being atau mental well-being through stress management program, counseling, awareness initiatives, all that is very important. Gen Z and the millennials now value very much work-life balance. So encouraging a balance between work responsibility and personal life to prevent actually burnout. Then we have, I think Prof. Shukran and team, Dr. Pam dan sebagainya, they are all involved in employee assistance program. I think dekat AKAP baru ni there is such thing, and offering resources and support for personal and professional challenges. Then we talk about recognition and appreciation. Do we have days that you recognize all the best researcher, the best teacher, the best whatever, best student and sebagainya? All this recognition, appreciation, acknowledging and rewarding employees for their contribution. And inclusive and supportive culture, maknanya whatever you do, foster a workplace environment that values diversity, that values equity, and that values inclusion. Okay, so that is that, right? Now, staff management is more about, okay, maknanya between the two ni, staff management is more about administrative and organizational aspect in handling the employees, including the tasks related to the employment. But staff well-being focus on the holistic health and satisfaction of the employee. Physical dia pun, mental dia pun, emotional pun within the workplace. Yeah. So while staff management is essential for the functioning of the organization, promoting staff well-being contributes to a positive work culture, contributes to employee engagement and overall productivity. If the staff is productive, the organization as a whole also move towards productivity. Nampak tak? So if you want productivity from the staff and from the organization, therefore staff management alone is not sufficient. You must take care of staff well-being. So, is staff well-being important? Okay, of course, it's crucial to enhance job satisfaction. Satu lagi, reduce absenteeism, because you notice tak kalau ada staff yang absent selalu. So absent is always, kalau absent selalu, satu malas lah, tapi kedua they also indicate some problems in the workplace, that sebab tu dia tak mau main kerja, ya. And that bila reduce, if you take care of staff well-being, they will reduce absenteeism, increase productivity, enhance their commitment to work, nampak seronok nak main kerja, and create a healthier and more productive workforce. Because you know, when anyone lah, tak sama ada you paling tinggi dalam organisation atau you paling rendah dalam organisation, everybody will feel, if they feel supported and valued, they will walk the mile for the organisation. Let me put it this way, yeah. They tend and if you feel supported, you feel that you are valued by the organization, you will experience lower level of stress and burnout, and at the end of the day, it will lead to a higher job satisfaction. And if a higher job, ramai lah takkan meninggalkan the organization, right? Paling penting, you know, I mean, you can't go around telling people this institution care unless you show it, right? So basically, it shows the institution cares about the staff. So academic staff, like all other employees, also face a lot of personal, professional, and financial. So I need to discuss also, sebab yang muda ni, they want a lot of things fast. This is Generation Z, okay? They want promotion cepat, they nak semua cepat, they nak kereta BMW, tak boleh yang MyB ni. So bottom line, that will, dengan gaji yang tak commensurate dengan the needs tu, that then you will face financial challenges, and everything now now is on the rise, right? Makanan mahal, rumah mahal, kereta mahal, nak dapat isteri pun mahal sekarang. So therefore, it will have financial challenges. So providing programs that show that institution cares about the well-being of the staff can basically boost morale and job satisfaction. Okay, big question. Should this be part of the institution's responsibilities? What can I say? Huge yes, yes, yes. Because all staff, academic or support, satu perkara yang kena ingat, at the end of the day, you have any university, hebat tak hebat that university, the real asset of the university is the staff. That means the academic staff and the support staff is the staff, right? So developing and implementing a well-being program for the academic staff is basically essential lah to support the well-being, the performance, lagi hebat dia punya performance, lagi hebat dia punya productivity sebab dia happy. So then the overall success of the individual and the institution, you see it as a whole. So, and it also aligns with why staff well-being is an institution responsibility juga sebab it aligns with the ethical and legal responsibilities, and basically it contributes overall to a positive workplace culture, which in turn will have a lasting impact on the institution's reputation and long-term sustainability. And basically having well-structured program can positively influence the institution's reputation and standing. Bottom line, habis cerita lah, the happy and motivated employees, that means happiness index semua naik, are more likely to stay in the organization. More likely bila kita jumpa dengan orang tu, dia tak sabar nak cerita pasal hebatnya universiti dia dan sebagainya. Then, I will never leave this place because this is it. This place is mine and I will do what it takes now to move IUM. So this is what we want to hear lah. Tentang kesayangan kita kepada institution. Okay, that aside, how now do we evaluate where we are at IUM? Maybe, right? How do we evaluate the status of well-being in that organization like IUM? So evaluating the well-being and affluence of the organization workforce, of course, is going to be critical in preparing for the development of the comprehensive structure. Kalau kita ada program macam macam Prof Mira kata tadi, what do we have to do now to make the staff happy? Well, how do you know what to do unless you know what's the problem in the place? So how do we evaluate, right? So this evaluation helps to identify what are the areas, where do we need to, where support is now needed, and informs the how now should we design a more effective program for the staff. So today, post-COVID, ladies and gentlemen, we don't talk about staff management saja. We need to talk about staff well-being. And if you want to talk about staff well-being, there's no such thing as top-down policy. Sekarang ni, every policy kalau boleh perlu ada engagement with the staff. I don't know lah what sekarang ni, tapi kalau dekat kuliah, kalau sebelum policy itu jadi wahyu, mohon ada engagement dengan staff. Because if you engage dengan staff, you dapat now a consensus decision. And when you get a consensus decision, you get the buy-in. And when you get the buy-in, they will walk the mile for the kuliah. So this is very important because now everybody understand where things are going forward. Yeah. So and then not only setakat engage, bila kita nak buat decision, biarlah evidence based. So get the data before you do a comprehensive structured assistance program and so on. So how do you do it? Number one, paling senang lah, surveys and questionnaire. Itu paling senang. Yes, to you, but orang yang nak menjawabnya maybe don't know, don't care. Have you seen bila you dapat email yang kata minta survey, insyaAllah delete, right? So not that easy to get these surveys and questionnaire because you can have it out and then dapat response berapa persen saja, and then maybe not even statistically significant. So but okay lah, you can do this dengan cara surveys and questionnaires. And when you do that, ask about the overall satisfaction, work-life balance ada tak, stress levels bagaimana, financial well-being macam mana. You kena tanya tau pasal financial well-being ni bukan secret tau, because at the end of the day, kalau financial well-being is not there, it created a non-productive staff, and at the end bagi staff tu juga tempted to now do things which is lacking in integrity lah. And then you have job-related concerns and access to resources ada tak, macam lah, staff junior baru balik, very good, baru balik pada Sheffield, baru balik daripada Oxford, baru balik pada Cambridge, mai tengok lah tak ada apa dalam lab. So I mean this gonna cause a mental stress problem lah. So include both quantitative and qualitative question to obtain a holistic view of well-being. Tapi dalam semua ni kan, at the end of the day, whatever you want to put in the survey or questionnaire, for me lah, you tanya I prefer focus group discussion, because dalam focus group discussion you get this two-way feedback immediately, right? So when you conduct this focus group discussion with the employees, you need to gain deeper insights into the experience, the challenges and the needs. And this method allows for open and candid discussion. Tapi janganlah defensif. Okay, when you do this, you kena dengar lah. So jangan defensif. And then bukan pasal retaliation, bukan pasal nak cakap, but okay, what are the issues? What are the challenges? What how do you plan to move forward? Semua tu kita boleh bincang in focus group. Dalam focus group tu ada many layer of generation. Jangan buat semua muda saja, semua tua saja. Ada layers of generation dalam one focus group, so that you now have the opinion of the senior, the middle and the junior all in one, yeah. And this candid discussion can uncover issues that may be captured, that may not be captured in survey. Sebab dalam survey dia tulis tu dia boleh menipu ke, tulis bawah coconut tree, but in the discussion you akan tengok sama dia punya body language, ya. That one is also important. So, and dalam focus group kalau boleh discuss intergeneration issues, right, between professors yang senior dengan middle dengan junior. You gonna face a lot of problem juga in terms of leadership, because ada yang professors yang tak mau terlibat, don't know, don't care, problem lah. So you have to bring them together, discuss intergeneration issues within the organization that can result in misunderstanding and conflict. Of course, once we start the employee assistance program, you can use the data from that, and that will be the kind of data that you need to support kat mana problematic areas. And the other one that you need to evaluate is exit interview. Pada amnya, bila orang decide to leave the university, dia akan tulislah for personal reason, for health reason. Wallah faham lah, kita pun tak tahu betul ke tak betul. Health reason or personal reason, mungkin ada lebih deeper reason why they exit. Tapi pada amnya kita tak pernah tanya kat dia why dia nak leave the university. So I think kalau bolehlah tanya, because bila kita tanya baru kita tahu sebenarnya uncover apa problem sebenarnya, and sometimes this problem kita boleh solve, and bila kita solve this problem dia tak tinggal the university, because bagi dia dah serabut, dia dah tak boleh memikir. So but kalau kita objectively dengar apa yang dia have to say, maybe that will probably be able to solve, right? And kita boleh tunjuk jalan kat dia. You know, for me, I would say every time bila misalnya jadi VC lah, dia orang cakap, okay, I need to leave because, you know, I need ini. And I say, okay, you want to go to the work in a place that you think is greener than USM, for example. Okay, no problem. I will allow you to do that. But can I suggest to you, instead of resigning from the university, you know, can you now take a secondment? Dia pun fikir, secondment, yeah, you boleh second up to 5 tahun. So you can go to you can go to work in an IPTS, or you can go and work in a company. And then when you find that the grass definitely is not greener on the other side, despite the money, you don't get job satisfaction, you can always come back to USM. So that usually is my advice, because selalunya dia dah buntu, dia fikir nak resign saja. You resign, ada banyak repercussion, ya, pencen lah apa semua tu. okay, dalam IUM tak ada pencen. So but bottom line is that, you know, there's a lot of repercussion bila there's no bridge to come back bila you resign, ya. And then when you resign pula daripada government base, dia tiada maaf bagimu untuk come back. So there are many repercussions. Better to take a secondment, tapi only kalau advice properly lah. So that's what I pun advise, dekan-dekan pun kena tahulah what are the rules and regulations supaya dia boleh menggunakannya untuk membantu menolong staff. Tapi kalau dekan sendiri pun tak berapa faham dengan the rules and regulation, not at the fingertip, susah dia nak menolong staff. So health and wellness data. Review health and wellness data like absenteeism, workplace injury, healthcare claims. Tengok banyak mana dia duk claim health. Then something's wrong. So kita kena tengok sama kalau something's very wrong, then atau saja-saja menggunakan health punya reason. I mean there is only X number of days that you can take medical leave, right? So after that kita kena tanya sama ada dia patut being considered for medical health punya termination ke apa ke. Financial health assessment, okay. Offer financial health assessment or surveys to understand the financial well-being of the employee. Yang ni I belajar masa I jadi VC dekat USIM. USIM cares very much about dia punya staff because the young academics gaji taklah berapa banyak sangat, tapi bila rumah mahal, semua mahal, all that has an impact. Sama ada isteri atau spouse bekerja tetap, all that has a financial impact. So kadang-kadang kita tengok supaya sekarang ni how can kita lebih membantu dia bila dia punya financial management is not there, because it's affecting dia punya productivity, and then that also make the staff sama ada academic ataupun support staff more tempting for nak terima benda duit ke sebagainya, lacking in integrity lah, sebab tu yang bermula. And then performance metrics, satu lagi kalau dia terlalu kaya dengan gaji yang ada, suddenly kereta macam-macam, kita pun kena investigate juga. So because there is such thing as declaration of your wealth, yeah. Performance metrics, analyze the performance metrics including productivity, quality of work, job satisfaction, and then tengok what kind of performance, is it declining, is it going up? So these are all indicators of well-being. Satu lagi, saya selalu tengok lah, at the end of the day, I'm not saying any university, I pun selalu tegur kalau bahagian pendaftar dia hanya menunjukkan okay data yang ataupun ni lah bahagian corporate strategy apa benda, dia suka tunjuk data, oh kita menaik. Hello, how do you compare to the other university, you know? So janganlah tunjuk kita duk menaik, tapi bila compare university naik tapi di kalangan antara yang corot. What? So basically now don't kelabukan. So basically when you benchmark, you kata you benchmark, that means you kena benchmark dengan other universities and tengok the happiness index of that university bagaimana compared to you punya happiness index, and then if that is higher, then go and belajar lah apa yang mereka buat yang kita tak buat, you know. So then the other one is demographic analysis. Yang ni most bahagian whoever yang menjadi administrator, dia suka sangat baca. Sebab tu I nak tunjuk baca. Dia lepas tu saya tanya the next soalan, what does this baca mean? Asyik duk tunjuk baca frekuensi ke kuda kayu mana pun boleh buat this frequency, but bottom line sekarang ni, what does this baca mean? So this is something that I think kita kena tanya lah, sebab kalau kita tengok semua nampak bagus sebab the bar chart is climbing up, but what does it mean? So that's why saya kata sekarang ni. And the other thing, bila kita buat this bar chart semua, very important lah, tolong talk about. Saya tanya very crucial question kepada universities yang saya bagi talk. Okay, tell me what's your profile of the Gen Z dengan the millennial. Semua nganga, tak tahu. Because they never bother to ask about the various age group yang ada di dalam that organisation. So sebelum saya tanya dekat MSD, kalau MSD duk dengar, biar tanya. Sebab bila the next one I talk about generation gap, MSD better have the data for me. So bottom line is that macam tu lah. Ya. If you know the profile, you tengok data, you understand data, what it takes for you now, you will do a better job of helping the university. Okay, and satu lagi, pasal gender. gender. Selalunya dia duk tunjuk semua staff going up. Hello, show me male or female, because it's so very important to get sex disaggregated data, because we're talking about inclusivity. So kalau kita talk about inclusivity, we need to know siapa yang duk perform well ni, yang wanita ke yang lelaki. So you kena tanya pula, kalau lelaki perform well, wanita tak perform well, pasal apa? So semua benda ni, that's what I say, what do the bar charts mean? Alright, so to identify variations in well-being, affluence among the different employee groups, etc. So semua ni akan help tailor assistance program. Satu lagi 360 degree feedback. Boleh juga tanya 360 degree feedback process to gather input from peers, from the supervisors, from the subordinates about an employee's well-being and performance, and this will give a multi-perspective approach. Employee engagement survey, okay, boleh saja buat, like I said lah, regularly administer this employee engagement survey to tengok whether things are okay or not okay, but like I said, better to have focus group discussion, at least you get the candid result. Okay, next one. Lepas kita dah buat dah evaluation, kita tengok where is the state of our staff, alright, or I mean the state of well-being of the staff in the organization, then how do we go about taking care of the staff well-being? So yang ni cara-cara lah. Okay, you kena, that's why I said, first of all, what is the profile data of IIUM? Are you having more millennials and and the Gen Z, right? If you have more millennials and the Gen Z, depa mau work-life balance. Gone are the days of baby boomers like me, you know. Baby boomers like me, I would say kalau aku tak nampak muka dia dekat office, maknanya he's don't know where, right? Learn ni kita dah ada Zoom, kita dah boleh buat tak payah dah datang ke office every day. We can do it online, work from home, that kind of stuff, right? So it's a lot of adjustment. I think COVID managed to teach us lah that there are plan B in the way of doing things as well, work is concerned. That's why saya sekarang ni saya nampak lah bila dekat saya kan, I'm a founder of the HICO dekat USM, and I'm so used to the fact that kalau when I was the director for the institute, I need to be able to see the institute lights on 24 hours. Maknanya graduate student I am working, staff is working, apa semua. Lah ni pukul 6 semua gelap gelita. I'm still in the office, you know, but pukul 6 dah gelap gelita. Sama ada I dekat USM ataupun I dekat Kuantan, sama aja. Pukul 6 dah tak ada siapa. So bottom line, say, what's going on? And then only I have to realize bahawa makhluk yang sekarang ni are all Gen Z. Gen Z dengan millennial tak sabar to have a work-life balance. Memang bagus lah. Because this is the way it is now. You got a balance between the family and it. Tapi you have work-life balance, tak ada productivity, this is simply not on. Sonok kerja saja tapi tak nampak productivity. So I think you need to balance lah. Kalau ada work-life balance, make sure good at work, productive, and good at home, productive, right? So of course, we want to encourage a healthy balance between work and personal life and avoid overloading employees with excessive work hours and unrealistic expectation. Yang ni people, baby boomers like me, when I was VC at USM ni orang memang tak boleh tidur because I would be making phone, text, WhatsApp, I need things, you know, at 1 o'clock because I tak tidur until 2. So bottom line sekarang, most of my PNC, pejabat PNC, they don't sleep. And then when the next vice chancellor comes in, they orang semua tepuk mereka punya phone, tanya awak phone mereka tak bunyi apa-apa because pukul 9 because the new VC sleeps at 9. So bottom line sekarang ni you see the difference, but that allows the staff now a little bit more happy lah, tak ada any frantic WhatsApp that they have to answer at 12 midnight or whatever. So tapi saya, I don't know lah, because I'm still a baby boomer. You guys are going to be the millennials. You notice that bila kita ada something urgent that needs to be done, rector nak something or other, and then kita text dekat makhluk ni, and dia tak jawab. Bila my Friday night ya, pukul 5, dia tutup dia punya handphone, tak jawab apa-apa sampainya Monday morning. Wow, so I'm not sure whether this can be done or not, tapi up to you guys lah. Because when you say avoid overloading employees with excessive work hours, sometimes kita minta pertolongan mereka over the weekend and they don't jawab the phone, then I don't know how else to say this lah. So flexible work arrangement. Okay, kita offer satu work-life balance, kita kena tengok. Okay, flexible work arrangement. Sekarang ni orang dah mula work from home. I mean, tengok I'm on the Axiata board and Axiata pun work, 3 days in the office and then 2 days from home. So maknanya people are changing lah. Flexible work arrangement. Janji you have an agreement that bila they work from home, kita is a key what they call objective result. Yang kita objective result yang kita tengok, we are result driven rather than the process driven. So maknanya if we agree to that, then kita boleh lah buat flexible work arrangement, and then wellness program, provide wellness program that focus on physical, mental, emotional health, and this could be bagi ada gym so that they can buat fitness, ataupun paling senang sekali counselling lah, or mindfulness activities. Staff well-being ni kan susah nak cerita lah, but at the end of the day it's about recognition and appreciation. Everybody, tak kira lah how tinggi you are, how rendah you are, if you do something good, deserves a pat on the back. Right? And selalunya orang dia punya superior ke, immediate superior ke, kalau dia buat something, credit is given when credit is due. That's all I want to say. And then recognize and appreciate employees for their hard work and for their achievement, because feeling valued contributes to a positive work environment. Benda ni kan, dia bukan cost any money tau. When I was VC, I said to my PNC punya group, okay, apa saja yang hampa dengar kata student do very well, staff do very well, whatever, keluarkan. So I designed this special letter dengan letterhead to say that we appreciate what you have done, and then tahniah for the work that you have done. And I get this kind of feedback, I say, I've had a tough day and was like, a breath of fresh air just to get a letter from you. Walaupun I'm sure you don't know me, but I appreciate the fact that you recognize my contribution to the university. Nampak tak? So it's just small, tapi but can be done. Kalau kita buat benda ni, memang it will make your day lah. That's all that I want to say. Professional development, invest in training and development opportunity. Employees who feel they are growing in their careers are more likely to be satisfied and motivated. Kalau kita address the professional development dia betul-betul lah, bagi dia opportunity, ya. Communication and feedback, foster open communication and constructive feedback. Now, you kena ingat lah, bila anak bagi talk pasal generation gap ni, makhluk generation Z ni, dia suka nak bagi opinion, walaupun kita minta dia punya opinion, tapi dia memang nak bagi, ya.
Datuk, sorry to interrupt. We have audience who does not understand Malay language.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
just to
Alright.
thank you.
Okay,
So sorry.
thank you, no problem. Okay, we want to have communication and provide a constructive feedback. Okay, the generation Z, for whatever reason, loves to give feedback because they are so used to, remember the generation Z, they are more attuned to the screen rather than having human interaction. And with the screen, immediately they will type things and they don't even consider whether whatever they're saying is hurting the other person's feelings, right? But to them, oh, this is something I gotta say, So bottom line is that they will give this feedback. And basically, it's like this lah. You can be hearing the feedback from the same person over and over again that, you become undergo anxiety whenever you see that fellow name. So what you do then is you can open an email box or whatever. So anybody who wants to communicate anything, please, send in your suggestions, your opinion to this box, and then you have somebody read that lah. And another one is, of course, about staff stress reduction. Who doesn't undergo stress, right? So academic staff often face these high levels of stress because of KPI to publish, to teach, and obtain research grants, right? I didn't realize this until yesterday. Yesterday, I was having focus group discussion because I'm in charge of how to change the landscape of science in moving science in higher education, and I'm presenting that to the minister tomorrow. But bottom line is that when we have this focus group discussion with people from various groups, they are saying, especially from the ministries, from the universities, they're saying that we are being pressured by the word performance, to the point that even if I say KIP, key intangible performance, as long as the performance is there, they go gaga. So basically, so we have to change and say output based versus now impact based, ataupun what we say output, we no longer require that much output, but the stress now is on the balance of output and outcome based, right? So we have to use those words now because people are very anxiety is probably the key word if we use performance, even though the performance is about impact, but because the word performance is there, it's driving people crazy. I mean, I didn't realize that until we had a whole focus group meeting of MNCs, GLCs, startups, and 20 different ministries all saying the same thing. So support programs, okay, that offer stress management and mental health resources to mitigate the negative effect of stress to improve productivity. So this is something the job of like CPD or Mira, I'm adding the job for you. Teach them how to do the how. Yeah, you can always say, okay, it's reduce stress, etc. But you have to have a program that teach the academic staff how to do the how of reducing stress. So you need to somehow balance between outputs and outcome. That's why I am also changing words in my slides. I used to have KIP and KPI. I think being used also in the IUM strategic plan, but I think the word performance is already creating anxiety. The next one is professional development. Provide resources and opportunities for ongoing professional development, and this can enhance, of course, the staff skills, the knowledge and expertise. This is where I say, when you now say to me, oh, I don't have enough money, therefore I can't stand the staff for professional development, this can demotivate the staff. So that's why I think there is a need to have a portion of money being allocated so that the staff skills can be upgraded, knowledge can be upgraded, and the expertise development can be enhanced, right? Equity and inclusion assistance program can be designed to promote diversity, to promote equity and inclusion, and they can support underrepresented groups, foster a sense of belonging, and address issues related to discrimination and bias. Basically, how do I know whether I'm doing enough for equity and inclusion? Perhaps you can say do a survey, okay, and the survey can be a specific one that really asks if there is a need for a female surau, or there is a need for a breastfeeding room according to WHO guideline, because a lot of the staff, when I talk to them, they in IUM, they tell me, oh, we don't need that breastfeeding room because we have our office and we can do we can pump the milk, etc. in our office. But you're not being caring to the support staff, to the cleaners, okay, they are all females, so this is what I mean by being inclusive. Where do they go and pump their milk, right? So basically, by having this breastfeeding room, according to WHO, small room aja, as long as you have a fridge, is aircon, there's a chair, as long as the mother can pump the milk and keep it in the fridge. You don't want to keep the pumped milk together with the rest of the stuff, because when you're looking for milk, you just start using mother's milk in your coffee. So that's simply not on. So basically, we need to now differentiate that, have that done, and basically it's so simple, the way I see it, because when I was VC, I just say, okay, every dean, part of your KPI is to make sure there is a breastfeeding room in your PTJ, in your kuliah. And it's all done. They can exactly find a small room. Fridge is only 500 ringgit, or even a smaller fridge one is okay. And then just have the room being aircon, and that's it. it can be done overnight. So it's not a matter that is so difficult to ask for. Okay, and also you have to ask for like, do you need nursery, kindergarten, life skill? Oh, life skills, for God's sake, because I see some people can't even handle with a fork and knife, cannot handle the food properly. They're cutting the food wrongly. I mean, when you start to, and you do not know etiquettes, and you start being moving up in the ladder to become a leader, and then you go to official function in front of people, and you have this inability to eat properly, right? So I think there is a need for grooming, and etiquettes need to be there. How you dress, how you put yourself together, because all that is part and parcel of grooming, and how you present yourself to people, because how you present yourself to people will make sure how serious you are about the topic when you're discussing with people. And of course, flexible work arrangement. The next one is, of course, mental health and wellness program. This is very important, especially when you are not, everything is not putting together. So it's important that you have counseling, or you can have gym. Whether you realize it or not, for women, most women in the private sector, no matter how hard they work, they do not get equal pay. And this is reality in Malaysia. We are so fortunate living in the university where women are paid equal to men. I mean, Associate Professor A, man or woman, gets the same pay in the university, but outside it's not the same. Yeah. So the other thing is that, simple things like safe and well-lit parking, we have that. Bus stops, do we have lighting at the bus stops? Do we have a roof over the bus stop so that when it rains, we can have shelter? I mean, simple things, but they make a lot of difference in terms of caring for the staff. And do we have healthcare services and childcare services? Another one, it's usually not spoken, but I have to say it, support for victims of harassment and discrimination. In USM, we are very lucky because we have Kanita, the one that handled this crisis. So all sexual harassment after being raped or whatever, everything is handled by Kanita. So that because they are trained, they are experienced in handling. You do not simply send any woman to go and talk to another woman just because if they are not being trained, something else will happen. It will make life worse. So please have some support for victims of harassment and discrimination. And how do we go about it when such harassment happens? Workplace policies that promote safe and respectful working environment. I think it's very important so that there's no bad words or curse words being used in the environment. Establish feedback mechanism. That's why I said if that person is talking too much, wanting to give so many ideas, please have a suggestion box or email box. Inclusion for OKU, there's another, and whether we provide facilities and infrastructure needed. It's not only about the facilities and the infrastructure, it's also about whether you care or not to make sure that the OKU group feel comfortable and also being valued as a contributing member of the university. The facilities include like buddy system, where you have the buddy system that they are students that will now take according to their schedule, be able to bring their OKU friend for the day, bring it to the van. We have an OKU van, and then bring the person to the class, and then bring to the toilet, and then of course bring them back to the dorm. And are the dorms on the ground floor? So the actual design, if you're really thinking about inclusive, then the way we design or convert the hostel that so that on the ground floor there is the OKU areas. Of course, now toilets. Okay, the VC director has been talking about clean toilets. Okay, now I see the toilets are clean, etc. But do we have nappy changing stations, right? Because sometimes you have to bring your child or whatever to the office because the adalah bad days, yeah. So and now we find that these nappy changing stations, now you see at the various airports and whatnot, they have that, because this room is on the outside, it's never with the women, because if it's you are being gender insensitive, you always put that only the nappy changing must be with the woman. Hello, now we have also fathers who are equally good in handling children. So basically now they have the nappy station outside, so both father or male or female can now be using that nappy station. So it's just a matter of thinking when you start thinking about inclusivity. When we talk about well-being and job satisfaction, these are genderless. It's not talking about only for male or only for female, but bottom line, both male and female need to have job satisfaction and well-being. The next one is retention and recruitment. A well-designed program basically can attract and retain talented faculty and staff. So it can be a selling point for potential employees to say, our attrition rate at IUM is very low. So, now you know that most of the staff is happy to be here. So that's kind of a selling point. Of course, the next one is employee assistance program that I want to talk about, that offers life balance support, counseling services, flexible scheduling, family leave policies, etc. All these can be brought about to ensure personal and professional lives are being there and managed more effectively. So basically, with this employee assistance program, I think Professor Shukran is heading this, designed to support employees in their personal and professional lives, helping them overcome challenges and improve their overall well-being. So basically, the goal is to enhance job satisfaction, reduce absenteeism, increase productivity, and actually create a healthier, more productive workforce. And these programs typically offered by a wide range of employers, government agencies, etc., to make sure that the employees are taken care of. And what is some of these programs? They are like counseling services that can be done, crisis intervention in case of emergency or crisis. They can help to help the employee to navigate and cope with the situation. Work-life balance support. Some of the programs will provide guide. Sometimes you don't have no idea what do you mean by having a work-life balance. So, and how do you reduce stress, and how do you prevent yourself from getting a burnout? The other one is legal and financial assistance. Sometimes you are going through a very difficult position. So you may need some legal and financial consultation to help the employees with legal matters, with some budget or financial planning. Wellness and health promotion, they can offer the wellness program, fitness resources, health-related information, like pamphlets that come out. Okay, what about diabetes? How do you want to make sure you are maintaining a healthy lifestyle? Or, how do you cope with high blood pressure? How do you cope with certain diseases? All this can be done rather than having the medical school to or the allied health tools to provide this kind of brochure. They can cooperate and actually help with the employee assistance program to actually provide and disseminate this information throughout the campus. Whether this is not something that I want to discuss, but substance abuse can happen and among the staff. So assistance may include services to deal with substance abuse issues like drug addiction treatment, and counseling also needs to be there. The next one is education and training. They usually also provide workshop and training on stress management, on conflict resolution and coping strategies, because this is not something that CPD should be doing. That one is for professional development. But in professional development, there is a matter of stress management and conflict resolution, as well as coping. How to cope essentially needs to be there. So, somebody along the line, either with MSD or CPD or employee assistance program, if there is at IUM, then somebody should be doing this to help the staff. Of course, at the end of the day, you're going to face challenges. That goes without saying. And this challenge includes what? Budget constraint. Okay, we can plan everything, but at the end of the day, don't have money. So no money, no go, no professional development, no a lot of things, right? No. But the thing is, at the end of the day, how can we continually say no money, no go? Because there must be plan B for the things that we want to do. And sometimes things that needs to be done is not that expensive, but it's just that when we think in an expensive way, it becomes expensive. But if we think in a non-expensive way, there's a lot of things that we can do. So that's what I mean by having discussions, teamwork, brainstorm, so that we can now do things together. So resistance to change, that's another problem, because different employees may take this differently, but you may see some common obstacles in this. You can tailor well-being initiatives to the specific context of the organization. Like, for example, okay, this is what happened when I was VC at USM. I find that the medical bill starts to go up because, we pay for insurance, we pay for all the medical bills that come. And every year it seems that the million starts to go up, and they're going up exponentially. So to the point that now that the university has no OPEX, so where am I going to get all this money? So we begin to see that, and most of the cases that we see, this is what I mean by profiling, using data to see what's the real problem. Where am I seeing this kind of obese that is happening? Is it among the academic staff, and what age they are happening? So all this we put in terms of data so that we know. And I find that the students are also showing obesity. So what we do, we have a healthy lifestyle program. So when we have this healthy lifestyle, very simple. I made a rule that when we have everybody, of course, when during meetings, it will be served coffee or tea, but the coffee and the tea, the sugar is not in the coffee or the tea. The sugar is on the side, so that if you want the sugar, you take it yourself. But if you don't want the sugar, then you can take it, and have the drink without the sugar. Because sometimes they already put sugar in the drink, and you are thirsty and you have to drink it anyway. So this is simply not on. So give the person a choice, so that we can have now for those who want a healthy lifestyle, they get it. So we can do this. It's not like it cannot be done. It's a matter of whether you want it done or you don't want it done. And regularly assess the effectiveness of the well-being. Of course, this needs to be done, because how else would you know whether your staff is okay or not? And adjust the strategies based on the evolving needs of your workforce. This is what I mean by adaptable and flexible, and ensure a holistic approach that considers both physical and mental well-being will actually yield the best results. So I end by saying, we don't grow when things are easy, we grow when we face challenges. So I hope that we can grow together to help IUM move forward. So thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. MashaAllah, a very insightful and inspiring sharing from our Professor Emerita Dato' Asma. All right, I would like to open the floor for questions, if you have any. At the moment, I think I have seen some comments, yeah, Prof. Dato'.
Yeah, I see that 62 comments. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
everyone is very excited now. Let me just check if we have exact question, because all we have is comments. Perhaps I can just read out the comments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kalau nak tanya direct pun boleh lah, senang
Yeah.
sikit.
Yes. Please, can we invite any audience would like to ask question? You can just turn on your mic.
My apologies to those because I was talking Bahasa, so I thought most of the people would understand Bahasa, but it's all right. My apologies.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam.
Thank you, Dato. You mentioned in the beginning, I'm Rafiqul
Can I
Islam.
know who you are?
Yeah, I'm Rafiqul Islam from Kulliyah of Economics and Management Science, Dato.
Okay.
So my question is that you mentioned at the beginning that the government has given the universities autonomy. So can you just elaborate a little bit what kind of autonomies the universities enjoy? Thank you.
Autonomy is given, but autonomy is catered autonomy. There are a lot of things within the autonomy that is given to the university. It is the bravery of the top management to actually want to implement it. Like, for example, as I said, if I wanted to have if I wanted to have a breastfeeding room, I can just do it without having to have anyone say yay or nay to me, as long as we all agree to have that as part and parcel of inclusion. So like for example, this is going to thread through these waters. Like for example, promotion, right? So for promotion, we can have different ways to provide the kind of marks that we want for promotion, that we want to have more impact based rather than output based. So output still needs to be there, but we can balance that with impact based, so that now when you're doing community engagement, you're helping to show impact to the society. All that is taken into account in your promotion exercise. So, but because all these things we can do at the university, so it's a matter of and of course you can also decide at the university whether, if you want to be an associate professor, does it need external as in international evaluator, or we can just have within our own university, or we can have within Malaysia. Other universities professors tell us, and that only for professors we do with external, so that the exercise can be done faster. So there's a lot of things that can be done by within the jurisdiction of the university's capability.
Okay, thank you, Dad.
Okay.
Any other question? If I can make one comment, Prof. From Dr. Izzat, as mentioned by Prof. Asma, the moment our colleagues decided to leave IIUM, they always been treated as selfish and not appreciate their time back at IIUM. I am saying this from the actual stories from my friends that have left IIUM and been treated in a negative way. I really agreed with your sharing at USM, who give an opportunity for their talent to experience working off institution to gain experience and replenishing back of where would be most appropriate for them to not just contribute their talent, but also to find a tune, to find the optimal place to expand their career growth. Perhaps you would like to comment on that, Prof?
Well, there's no need to comment anymore. It's a matter of it can be done. So giving secondment to staff. In fact, it is your right to get, well, it's not your right, like it's a privileged right that we can give up to 7 years. 5 years. But I can, as a Vice Chancellor, extend it to 7 years if you need be to live outside. But remember, when you are not here, because you're getting the salary from the place that you're going to gain the experience, some other in IPTS or in another company or whatever, right? Or you go to a ministry, right? You become the Director General, for example, or in the ministry, right? So basically, when you leave to go, I will take your warrant. I will take your warrant and have a new academic to come in, so that the job in the workplace, your job is being done by someone else, and that someone else will also not be a permanent one, because understood that is waiting for you to return. On the day that you say that you will not return, that you are happy where you are, the grass is definitely greener on the other side, and you are very happy, I will turn that warrant now into a permanent position for the staff, the one that comes in, if that staff is performing. Yeah.
All right. Okay, there's another comment from Dr. Liana. To be honest, sometimes too many types of work that we need to accomplish at the same time to fulfill the KPI. And some things that we have put effort are not highly evaluated in KPI. And some would prefer to put more effort and focus on one type of work, for example, teaching, but deemed as not accomplishing according to KPI.
Yeah. That's the key word lah. Performance. It can drive you crazy, but basically that's what I mean, that depending on what the university wants. If the university wants you to show a lot of impact, helping the poor, fulfilling the needs of the SDG, it should commensurate with the promotion exercise. Otherwise, how will the staff now do what that needs to be done, right? So this is where I think that the left hand and the right hand must work together. If if the way forward is now to be able to have SDG done, to have helping the poor, and impact now counts more at IIUM, then the promotion exercise should match.
Okay. Okay, so we have a question here from Dr. Lukman Hakim. What kind of support and training can be given to employees who are placed in positions that do not suit their expertise? Example, from academic field to admin and vice versa.
All academics, when given the opportunity, should do admin lah, right? Because of leadership. I mean, why people ask you to take and become a dean or whatever? Because people saw that you have the capacity and the capability to lead. You know, so if you don't want it, just say no. Because you know it's going to put pressure on you to continue to do admin work, and you don't like it, because when you do admin work, you must remember it's servant leadership. You are there to help the people. You are not there to help yourself. So, you know, and it's a thankless job. So if you don't want a thankless job, don't take it. That's all I have to say. So, you know, don't pressure yourself this. But please remember, yeah, not everybody is offered leadership position. Not everybody is offered. Somebody saw that you have what it takes to lead. And that's a recognition. You know, that's an honor, that especially if it's someone that you really admire, and that someone says that you have what it takes. So to me, recognize that and take it up as a challenge, because you know you probably have what it takes. But if you feel that, but remember what I said, in terms of admin, you know, it is a thankless job, and when you take it up, you gotta be able to help people. That's the why you are in admin, right? And you must be able to listen to people, solve their problem, that kind of stuff. So you find that if you don't want to do it, then don't do it.
Okay. All right. The next question we have here is, okay, related to data collection just now. Prof. Dato', you mentioned focus groups as a method for collecting feedback.
Well, for me, I think that's the way it works, faster, because you get candid feedback, and you can also see the body language when they are answering, you know, so you can see how much they hate that, because when they write, they say nice things, but you don't really know what's happening. What is the emotion behind that writing? You can't see.
So this coming from Dr. Ahmed Osman, he's interested to hear elaboration about when and how to use them, and when is it better than a survey? Or maybe it's good to run survey first and then focus group?
You can run the survey. You can run, I mean, to me, you can run the survey. But like I said, I think many also agreed. When I see survey in my email, I will delete lah. Inshallah, I will delete, because I don't have time for this kind of survey. If you want my opinion, then talk to me. All right. So that's how I feel lah. You know, when at Academy Science, whenever we do our studies to say, okay, how to go to the left or how to go to the right, or how to change the environment of science in the country, we call for focus group rather than survey. Okay, we call for focus group because focus group can be done physically, can be done online. You can have, you know, people having it online. I mean, during COVID, we have focus group discussion, 250 people, all are online, but they're giving the kind of inputs that we want to hear. And that we want to see what kind of ideas that they have. So it's not an impossible thing that, you know, that you must have physical, you must give them food, and maybe we don't have the budget for it. No, it can be done online. And in fact, we managed to do it quite well online for focus group discussion. But if you have the money, you have the time, then we breakout session, we have different discussion. But what's wrong with having focus group discussion? Because when you are in the department, it's good to have. But sometimes if there is a lot of conflict, then maybe you don't want to have that. Well, sometimes you don't want to have that often because you cannot stand the pressure of having this conflict or having this one person saying things that disturb the mood of the group. So, but like I said, have that email box lah. Then the person can also put in suggestions in that email box if they want to hear the person creating different and affecting the mood of the group. It's okay for you to do surveys, but like I say, if you don't get the number of responses that you need to see that is making it statistically insignificant, then what is the use of that survey? Because you can't use it. So that's why I say with focus group discussion, it can be a very small group, but you get to hear about everything and you also get new ideas. And with focus group, if you give them time, like what I did yesterday, after 1,500 of focus group discussions that I had done, every time we give them these are the suggestions, these are the recommendations, and they have the time to discuss with each other and actually change the recommendation, so that what we now make the recommendation to the minister and so on is now based on 1,500 punya ideas. And that, we will start with us giving the idea, the experts giving the idea, and then it evolves when you get it, because once the words are written, it's easier now to make any. Okay, when you talk about focus group, there are two ways. One is that you just have some questions, you throw it out, and the people are just answering. Okay, for me, okay, but at the end of the day, it's like fact-finding mission. That is enough for fact-finding. But when I want to now move for policies in the university, I need it in black and white. Do you agree this statement in black and white? So this is where now we call for focus group. We have our own expert group meeting that now, top management can do this and come up with some of the suggestions, recommendations. Then you have the focus group, because now they can read what exactly is in your mind, especially when you have leaders that cannot that cannot speak well, that cannot put a clear vision across. So you have now these statements there, and then you can change the statements accordingly to now say, okay, what is acceptable, what is feasible, and then the top management will look at it again and then see whether, oh yeah, if we can accept it, then that's the way it is, because that's what consensus says in terms of the focus group, means your kuliah or whatever, or even in the university. That is what you agree upon, and then you get the buy-in. Okay.
Okay. All right. I think we have someone.
Maybe I put one question.
Yes, please. Yes.
Thank you very much. This is
Dr. Ibrahim, how are you?
Yeah, fine, alhamdulillah. Yeah, just I want to give a very short question or something like comment on your last statement. I think wonderful presentation and guidelines. In fact, your slide is giving guidelines to how we perform the leadership, inshallah. My question is about the challenges. You mentioned, I think we can move when the challenges, you end it in that way. So maybe you can give a little bit elaboration on that, because sometimes challenges are too much or too less also. Sometimes it's not motivating us to feedback. And sometimes it's too much also to what we call to handle challenges. So between this and that, which one it should be making us to move? Thank you.
If between this and that, that's why I think that if you don't have enough challenge, it doesn't motivate the staff to do very well. So that's why I said a consensus decision needs to be there in order to move forward. Because, if you want to move the bar, let's say you want to move the bar so that it gets a bit more difficult, or you need to like strive more in order to move forward. How much higher should you raise the bar? That is the focus group discussion, because sometimes you need a transition phase. You cannot overnight, challenge the staff because the whole engine, You can challenge the staff, yes, but the whole engine of the workplace is not there to support the staff. So instead of actually motivating, it would demotivate the staff. So that's why I say when we want to raise the bar to create a better challenge, it's nice to have a focus group discussion or a survey to now say, okay, do we agree that we move the bar a little bit? Because now I'm also making sure as a leader that the support is there to help my staff to now do better. I think somebody has a rate. Amidun, ada.
Yes. Yes, please, Dr. Hamidun.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ah,
Thank you, Dr. Hasma. I'm on my way to class and I was
yeah.
listening to your talk, and thank you very much. I think you have made that complex thing easier, and you have basically collected all the assembly. It just needs somebody to become the maestro now. From
Yeah.
my observation and my experience, top management to the second tier is not a problem in terms of communication and understanding divisions. It's from there and downwards you have a problem of being derailed sometimes. So I was thinking, looking back into the system that has been done first by the communists in the training or the cell of their we call the comrades and so on, and then the Ikhwan Muslimun took over and make the Usra thing, and then lastly the Qaeda have their cell and so on and so forth. It seems this so-called quote-unquote focus group, but not only in terms of data collection, as well as implementing what is needed to implement in small groups. Can this be adopted by university, and then so that every kuliah has this
Yeah.
group? That's my suggestion.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I hope I think whoever is listening on the higher ups, maybe that's something that Mira can bring forward. I mean, it works very well at the Academy of Sciences to the point that we get 80% of the policies that we put forward is accepted by the government. And many academies around the world are asking us, how do we manage to do that? Very simple. I said, we have to have engagement, and engagement is by focus group, not by survey, because it's very important that people want to have that sense of belonging, that sense of saying, I am making a contribution. And if you do by survey, there is not there. But when they are there, they can feel the ambience, they can feel how the others are reacting to their ideas. And you will find that, sometimes when somebody is so outspoken, you find that most of the time it's not acceptable, the majority of people. So at the end of the day, you know that this is the way to go, rather than having one person disrupting the conversation. So when you have this kind of discussion, I don't know lah. To me, because 6 years as president academy, moving 80% of policies in the country, I find that having this focus group discussion is so very important. And you know what? It lends credibility to Academy of Science, because when we call, I'm just talking from academy point of view as a perspective, yeah. When we call different people, maknanya companies, industries, policymakers, experts, students, staff, semua, when we call, people come. Because why? They know that if they say to Academy of Science, we take note of what they say, and that we formulate back the policy to now being attuned to the engagement majority consensus. Nampak tak? So when we go into cabinet and defend for that policy, it went through because many layers have already said, okay, especially little Napoleons. When you want to have any policy being done, it's not about the minister, it's about the little Napoleons down the line. Sama jugalah macam kuliah ataupun dalam university, it's the little Napoleons that is the what you call, Prof. Hamidun, the implementers. They are the one that's going to make the difference. All right, whether it's going to take place the way it is, like you say lah, top management mungkin okay, but down the line, that's where the implementers, and that's why it's very okay. Having said that, it's okay for focus group. Okay, but if the policy happens, it's also very important the next level, Prof. Hamidun, that you need to teach the people, the implementers, how to do the how. And a lot of time kita keluar policy tapi we never tell them how to do the how. You know, we just say, nanti strategic tempat akan katalah your IUM 40 year punya next apa strategic plan gedebuk and you're going to have strategies, you're going to have action plan. Well, who is telling the people on the ground who is implementing it how to do that? How? If you cascade it well, inshallah you will see the plan, the strategic plan, whatever, also delivering what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. Sorry, Datuk, just to add
Okay,
on.
thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof.
Yeah, sorry, Datuk, just want to add on the focus group. Actually, CPD have conducted similar approach in 2020 to 2021. I have to give the credit to the previous director, Prof. Norlide, and the previous deputy director, Dr. Izawati, who initiated such sessions. But we actually stopped on 2021 because this session was actually requested by Tan Sri Rector, and he has listened to many focus groups. So every month we actually invited randomly from different kuliah, different academic ranks, academic and admin. So we've listened and we've basically documented a lot of feedbacks, and we channeled to all relevant officers. But I think there's the gap where you mentioned just now. We have all feedbacks coming in, but how to do the how is always the bottleneck. So yeah, there's something perhaps that we could do in the future on operationalizing those feedbacks in the ground. So yeah, I think I acknowledge that would be something that we need to improve on.
Okay, all the best. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so
Thank you, Prof. Mira, and also to Datuk Hamidon just now. Yeah, actually, we have a comment here from Dr. Muhammad Azam. Basically, I think the main highlight of his comment here is on the looking at team appreciation rather than single person best achievement, as the single person achievement is actually the pinnacle of team effort. So, yeah, instead of just, rewarding an individual, perhaps can look at as a team effort.
For me, the letter that I usually send out to say appreciation, if it is teamwork, we say the whole team. If it is individual, somebody won the award for X or Y, itu individual lah. But if it is a team effort that won the first prize for innovation or something like that, then every one member of the team all gets a letter from me. So that you appreciate, because sometimes you just give it to the leader. This is also the other thing, apa yang you all buat yang bagi appreciation for best researcher, all that, dia panggil apa? Hari apa? Takrim. Yeah. So bila takrim kan, bila kita buat macam community engagement and you give I would appreciate to see that the whole team yang for community engagement to naik on stage, rather than the leader of the team. Sebab kadang-kadang kan kita kata, oh nak control time, kita bagi leader naik sudahlah. Yeah, but behind the leader is the hardworking team, right? So to me, biar mereka semua naik at the same, because everybody is going up at the same time, bukan seorang-seorang. So they go up the same time, leader boleh take the plug and whatever, and then gambar ramai-ramai, and then dengan rector ke dengan presiden ke, and then turun. So that's one. Because I created awards for community engagement, and Mira, awards for community engagement, I don't have money because at that time, RU memang tak ada OPEX. So I don't have money. I said to the Datuk Rahman, who is now the VC, who was TNC at that time. So I said, Rahman, I don't have money lah, Rahman. I just bagi plaque boleh tak? And you find that the whole hall, Mira, is full. People are not talking about money. It's about to me, I nampak this sebagai appreciation for the hard work that they have created impact to the community. And, and when they win, bagi semua team naik. Semua team dapat plaque. Plaque is what? Kita print aja. So what? It doesn't cost me that much, but kalau bagi duit, no money involved. Just penghargaan and appreciation for the impact that they have created to the community, and brought the name of the university up. So I can see lah, bila kita tengok benda-benda macam ni kan, kadang-kadang bila kita tunjuk this appreciation for the teamwork, for the hard work that people do, it's not about money anymore. It's about whether we value them. I nampak value and appreciate what people have done is actually more important, and that I think is being humanity centric.
Okay. Is there any more question from anyone who would like to ask questions directly?
If not, may I ask question?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
sure.
please.
Yeah, I've gone through all the comments just now, and I've seen quite a few keywords, which is kind of I've heard quite a lot in the past 2 years on the feeling burnout and overwhelmed with the multiple roles that academics should do, teaching, research, and whatnot. So because you have been in the DG positions where you have the macro perspective of how things actually happen in higher educations, what is actually the dream of the nations when you look at higher educations, the role of academics from the national perspective? What is the actual visions that you foresee it should have in all of us, as because we are part of the instruments, so to
Yeah,
make the
I
future?
think to me, academics need to move with the times. So then first of all, because I said many times, we are now facing unknown, we are now facing uncertainty, but most of the time it's like, what the hell is she talking about? I don't know. Every day is the same to me. So you don't realize it, but you notice now erratic weather patterns is already happening. And before you know it, there's going to be a pandemic, and before you know it, things shut down again, and before you know it, you don't have enough bread, you don't have enough chicken, you don't have enough eggs. Before you know it, there's a lot of before you know it, right? And yet all of us seem to say, every day is the same. I turn on the car engine, I go to work 8 to 5, and I come back, and everything is the same. Everything is not the same, because the students are changing. The students are changing. If you don't change, the learners is going to be changing faster than the teachers. That's the way I see it now, because the students are Gen Z. Whether you like it or not, they are picking up on what the internet, the artificial intelligence, the chat GPTs, they will, if you don't teach them well, they will go to edX, Coursera to listen to Harvard professors and Berkeley professors, because they're offering it free. So bottom line, the learners is going to be better than the teachers. So if you really want to contribute and do your Amanah Index, there is a need for the lecturers to want to learn, to unlearn, to relearn, to co-learn, and to co-create. That behavior needs to be there in the lecturers today. So before we're being called Professor Kangkung and all that, today I think it was in the news or something like that, kewibawaan Professor the question kan. So that's the way I see, because the students are getting cleverer and cleverer. They don't need you at the end of the day, because Professor Google can answer a lot more questions than you. Professor Chat GPT can also answer a lot better than you. So, but what exactly can we teach? We are going to teach them values, ethics, integrity, the intangibles, and the experiential learning that they cannot get from the computers. And where are they going to get this experiential learning? From community engagement, from volunteering. That's what we're teaching. And we're teaching them, okay, when going volunteering, you face a crisis, how do you solve this crisis? Because that's where it's supposed to be. When we have a COVID pandemic, we're supposed to solve an unknown, right? And so critical thinking, analytical thinking, all that needs to come in, plus heart, not just brain and heart. So how do we teach them? This is the time that they have to put it all together when they're solving crisis or providing solution on the ground, and listening to what people are saying about, dia faham, this is not about academic only, this is now about real world. So, I think the lecturers have to change. Lecturers today have to change. It's not about, yeah, you can teach fundamental knowledge. Yes, you can teach fundamental knowledge. But what is so fundamental knowledge that they cannot learn now from Professor Google? right? Because Professor ChatGPT is even better than Professor Google. Professor ChatGPT reads many things at the same time and analyze it for you. And Professor Generative AI will probably give a much better results in the future if you know how to use it well. So this is where I'm saying at the end of the day, it's about human interaction. So we got to be humanity centric, and we need to now be able to nurture. I don't want to use the word train. We need to nurture the students with the post-normal attributes that need to be there, not the one that I learned before. But I'm sure during my time, many of you who are millennial, what they call Generation X, those 50s, Generation X, and then the 60s, also need to change with the times, because the new generation is a totally different generation. I think that's important to learn, unlearn, relearn, co-learn. Co-learn meaning even though we are not technology savvy and the Gen Z, the students are want to be technology savvy, we have to learn together lah. And what did I say that word before? Intellectual humility need to be there. You can't afford to be arrogant now. You have wisdom, they have technology. So if we combine, it'll be better, no?
Assalamu alaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Am I allowed to ask a question?
Sure.
Yes, thank you very much, dear Professor. I do have a question in relation to what you just now mentioned. Is there a way that we can actually practically check whether, let's say, the lecturers are willing to change? And at the same time, is there a practical way that we can check whether the students are willing to learn the thing that, we are willing to teach them if we wish to change?
The fastest way, as I said before, is having this focus group discussion, or you look at data. I think there is a such way, right? You can look at the data and see whether professionally we are changing according to the needs, because the data can also be there. The surveys from the data, it can also be there. But also from the student feedback, they also will tell you what it's all about. So data is very important. I mean, you ask a question, how do we know what's going on? The answer is data. The question then, how do you get the data? So the data can be either by survey or by focus group discussion or whatever. But you need to have that data to actually say one way or the other what is actually happening.
Sorry, just a sub question. That's of course very practical. But then, from my experience, when I used to have some data collection and communication with the same person who let's say responds to the data collection, let's say link survey, they simply communicate to you. The details that they say to you are different from what they respond in the, let's say, questionnaire. You don't find in any of the responses, the details that they convey to you verbally.
But that's what I said. That at the end of the day, focus group discussion, to me, that's why I prefer that, because I can hear candid response, and I can look at their body language, how they are responding, whether, sometimes because they say, oh, it's very sweet, but they mean the opposite. But you can't do that when you're writing. So that's why I say focus group discussion, where I can see them, I can engage with them. Then to me, that will give a better feel, as you have found yourself, right?
True.
Yeah.
We need to know how to open them up.
Yes. That is another skill that needs to be there. Yeah. But I'm glad that you have found that skill. So, you can use that now for...
And the problem is they run away from me.
No. Okay. Anything else? Tak ada dah?
Prof, Dato', if I can highlight, this one is the comment related to budget. Yeah, the current budget does not even can you hear me? It's a bit lagging here. Current budget does not even support the academic program. Staff donate to keep the program going. How long can this be sustained to keep both staff and students' well-being for the program of the university? This is from Dr. Norwina Muhammad Nawawi.
I saw that. I just don't want to answer that because at the end of the day, you're going to touch about top management and how that is being dealt with. So bottom line, this needs to be brought to top management. I'm a nobody. So basically, you have to bring it to top management to see how discussion. And then Mira is there in the committee. So, bring it up because bring it up as saying that this is a problem that is being faced by the lecturers under CPD. When I do my focus group discussion, I want to bring it up. And because if you keep silent, then nobody will know, right? So bring it up and then up to top management to now figure out how to provide that solution.
Yeah, and everything in the chat is documented, so we will take action. We will at least channel it again to the relevant decision maker, so they should be able to take prompt actions if prompt actions is needed. So yeah, thank you.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah, but I say always make the workplace culture positive.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Okay, so is there any more question? Perhaps we can have one last question. Anyone would like to ask directly?
Yeah, especially the young ones, I really encourage because it's very rare to have this opportunity to have Datuk with us. There are a lot of concern on the workload. So Datuk is very well aware because we have invited her for many tight sessions. So, but if you feel like you would like to share, please unmute, and then you don't have to open the camera if you don't want to.
All the shy people.
Assalamualaikum, Prof. Can you listen to me?
Salam.
This is Izzat
Nampak.
from Kuliah Pharmacy.
Hi, Izzat.
Hi, Prof. It has been a while since last conference.
Yeah.
Okay, just want to ask, I think this might be related to upcoming course that will be shared in December about the generation gap. Like, from your personal point of view, like, you have been in the management of the ministry and also part of the academy as well. And looking from that experience and look into your engagement with IIUM, is there really a plan to take action into taking the well-being of different generation, or it's just nice on paper announcement on the public media?
For what? For IUM or for what?
For IUM per se, from what you observe at present.
I thought more comment that one.
In general, from
you
the government per se?
You should be able to do this. You can analyze this yourself, right? But at least there is initiative to want to know how to change, kan? Daripada nothing at all. I'm honored to be able to say my piece because, even when I was having this discussion with Mira, what is the topic that I want to talk about? And I said, after I've been to the various universities giving keynotes, everyone is giving me different topic. And I said, I'm tired about leadership because at the end of the day, leadership can only do so much if the whole team is not having a well-being. You faham tak, is that? So therefore the environment needs to be conducive for allowing productivity. Then you will see productivity. The environment is not conducive. So the question then, that's why I was just having discussion dengan Mira. So apa yang I nak cerita? So it has to be now, how do we talk about staff well-being? So otherwise I'll be talking about leadership till the cows come home and then what? So that's why I want to talk about staff well-being. But the fact that you guys are willing to hear shows that there is an improvement, that I'm sure some of them who are listening are also involved in decision making. So perhaps that is beginning to change. So to me, if you don't want to hear about it at all, then there is no change that will happen. But if you want to hear about it, the next question is, okay, and I even tell you how to do about it. So the thing is, can you do it? So, and would you like to try to do it, So, and can you do it without so much cost? I think that is the game changing that needs to have the discussion. We can do a lot of change without having to need money sangat, but sometimes we can. So therefore, when we really need money, then the money should be used for that. So I guess that's where I see it.
All right, thank you, Prof. Just to add just one more question. Like, I mean, yeah, it's good that now there's a platform opportunity for to be listened. But then I think this also what happening with the millennial. For me, I'm a millennial, also with the Gen Z, with my students as well, or my younger colleagues. Like, would the listen is just up to listening, or is there with further action afterwards? Because usually, like as you said earlier, right, these two generations are looking for very fast action rather than okay,
Right.
we'll bring to the meeting and then the next meeting and that's when there's no answer of that. So that's
You get
always
very
the question.
antsy, yes.
Yeah.
Your generation needs to see action fast. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. I think like with environment, like even like in terms of food, everything with Grab and Food Panda and everything will be fast. So like they always have this kind of concern of trusting those people in the management, especially with the different generation, I mean older generation, or I should say senior generation, that it always takes so much time sometimes to just for a simple decision making. So that
Yeah, I understand.
that's what always like having this platform, then what's next? Always question like, will there be a quick action? Just like, okay, let's have a look in another meeting, but then it's just in a meeting.
Yeah. That's why I say if we in leadership allows for empowerment, it's faster. Then people who are in the position to make decision can make the decision because they got empowerment. Right? If they don't get empowerment, that's why the decision takes a very long time, because whatever is happening on the ground needs to climb all the way up in order to get a decision. And of course, the Gen Z and the millennials will go crazy waiting for this decision to come. So that's why I believe, as I said many times, the new kind of leadership now needs to now talk about giving empowerment to the people on the ground who can now deliver. So I mean, we already elect them for that position, right? So they should now have what is the kuasa that they have in order to make that decision to allow these things to happen.
All right, thank you, Prof.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much. So I guess yeah, we have reached the end of our sharing session today. Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much to all for being part of this, I think, lively discussion. Yeah, very fruitful discussion together with our speaker, Prof. Emerita Dato' Asma Ismail. Alhamdulillah for the opportunity to be listening to your sharing today. Okay,
Yeah, I see Prof. Jamal there, quiet, yeah. So, but thank you for listening.
All right. So as usual, before we end the session, let me ask everyone to turn on the camera for the group photo. Okay, so we have quite a lot here, so please bear with me. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, page 1, page 2, hang on. Okay, the internet on my side is very slow, so please wait for a while, yeah? Okay, page 3. Page 4 done. Okay, page 5. Page 6. Page 7. And last page, page 8. Okay, so that would be all. So again, thank you very much, Prof. Emerita Dato', and thank you everyone for joining us today. And please do not forget to fill out the evaluation form that has been shared with you just now, and we will email again, okay, through the email. And also don't forget to to tick your attendance, yeah, through the attendance link. So now let us end the session with Suratul As and Tasbih Kafarah. Thank you very much, Prof. Dato, and to all. Thank you very
Dato.
much.
Thank you, everyone.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
Bye-bye.